Look at this. It's a dollar. It's literally the smallest paper currency we have. Think about the last time you spent one of these. You probably don't even remember, right? Maybe it was the extra charge for guac. Maybe it was a pack of gum at the gas station. Maybe it was that 99-cent app upgrade that you didn't even think twice about. Here's the thing. We've been conditioned to think that a dollar doesn't matter. We tell ourselves, it's just a buck, Nick, who cares? But let me ask you a question. Have you ever looked at your bank account at the end of the month and wondered where that last $400 went? You didn't buy a new TV. You didn't go on a shopping spree at Gucci. You just lived. Well, I've got some bad news. That $400 didn't disappear in one giant leap. It died a death of 1,000 cuts. It was murdered by the $1 power. Except you're using that power in reverse. You are literally bleeding your future self to death, one small decision at a time. And today, I'm going to show you why that $1 in your hand is actually the most dangerous or most powerful weapon in your entire financial arsenal. My name is Nick, and I spend way too much time thinking about the invisible math that dictates your life. If you're someone who feels like you're working harder than ever, but your net worth is stuck in the mud, make sure to hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if this helps you out. Because today, we're going to stop the bleeding. Now, look, most finance gurus will tell you that you need to focus on the big wins. They'll say, don't worry about the $5 latte, worry about the $500,000 mortgage. And yeah, okay, interest rates on your home matter, obviously. But here's what most people don't realize. The way you treat a dollar is the way you treat $1,000. We have this psychological blind spot called unit neglect. We've decided that because a single unit of currency is small, its impact is zero. We think math is linear. We think $1 today equals $1 tomorrow. It doesn't. Not even close. Let's get into the numbers, because numbers don't have feelings and they don't lie to you. According to a 2023 study by MarketWatch, the average American spends about $1,500 a year on non-essential small purchases. We're talking the vending machine, the extra streaming service you forgot to cancel, the $1.50 convenience fee for paying a bill online. Most people hear $1,500 a year and think, that's not that bad, that's like one vacation. Wrong. This is where it gets really interesting. If you take just $4 a day, the price of a cheap coffee or a soda at lunch, and you stop throwing it away, if you instead put that into a low-cost S&P 500 index fund, returning a historical average of 10%, daily, $4, monthly, $120. After 40 years, you aren't looking at $57,000. You are looking at $637,000. Nick pauses, letting the number sink in. Over $500,000 for a soda. You aren't choosing between Coke or no Coke. You are choosing between a sugary drink today and $600,000 in your retirement account. When you spend that dollar, you aren't just spending a dollar. You are spending the future version of that dollar. You are killing the golden goose before it has a chance to lay a single egg. Now, you might be thinking, Nick, I'm not an idiot. I know how to save money. I just like my coffee. I get it, but there's a psychological driver here called hyperbolic discounting. It's a fancy term for a very simple human flaw. We value a small reward right now way more than a massive reward later. Your brain is still stuck in the Stone Age. Back then, if you found a piece of fruit, you ate it. You didn't invest the fruit for 40 years because you'd be dead in 40 years. But we don't live in the Stone Age anymore. We live in a world where you're probably going to live to be 90, and the fruit you're eating today is costing you a literal orchard in the future. Every time you say, it's just a dollar, you are letting your lizard brain win. You are telling your future self, hey, I don't really care if you can afford health care or a nice home in 20 years. I want this Snickers bar right now. I can hear the comments already. Nick, inflation is 7%. A dollar won't buy anything in 40 years anyway. Or, life is for living. Why be the richest guy in the graveyard? First of all, if you think inflation is an excuse to spend money on garbage, you've already lost the game.
Inflation is the reason you need the $1 power. If your money is losing value, you need to be more disciplined about where it goes, not less. And second, I'm not telling you to live in a dark room and eat beans. I'm telling you to recognize the law of economic friction. Think of your wealth like a car trying to get to a destination. Every small, unnecessary purchase is like someone tapping the brakes. Just a little tap. It doesn't stop the car, but it ruins your momentum. And in finance, momentum is everything. Let me tell you a story about two guys, Alex and Ben. Alex is the optimizer. He's not cheap, but he's intentional. He looks at every dollar as a soldier. He packs his lunch 4 days a week. He uses a refillable water bottle. He saved exactly $5 a day. That's it, $150 a month. Ben is the normal guy. He buys the $2 bottle of water because he's thirsty. He gets the meal deal for an extra $3 because it's a good value. He spends that same $5 on friction. They both make $60,000 a year. They both drive the same car. Fast forward 30 years, Ben is stressed. He has $20,000 in savings. He's wondering if he'll ever be able to retire. He feels like he never made enough money. Alex has $340,000 sitting in an investment account that he built just from his lunch money. He's calm. He has options. He has freedom. The difference between a life of anxiety and a life of freedom wasn't a big win. It wasn't a lottery ticket. It was $5. It was the $1 power. Now, here's what most people don't realize. The $1 power isn't just about saving. It's about decision fatigue. Every time you have to decide whether or not to spend $1, $5, or $10, you are burning mental energy. By the time you get to the big decisions, like buying a car or negotiating a salary, you're exhausted. You just want it to be over. This is why people who are bad with money often make one giant, catastrophic mistake. They've spent all day bleeding out small dollars, and their brain just gives up. If you automate the small stuff, if you decide once that you don't buy convenience items, you save your mental energy for the decisions that actually move the needle. So, how do we actually use the $1 power? I'm not going to give you a 50-page budget. That doesn't work. Nobody does it. Instead, I want you to do 3 things this week. The 72-hour rule for everything over $10. If it's not food or a bill, it stays in the cart for 3 days. Most of the time, that must-have item loses its luster after 72 hours. You just saved yourself $20. Now, take that $20 and actually move it to your brokerage account. Don't let it sit in checking. Audit your digital leaks. Open your app store or your bank statement and look at the subscriptions. I bet you have at least one $4.99 or $9.99 service you haven't used in 3 months. Cancel it right now. That's $60 to $120 a year. That's $50,000 over your lifetime if invested. Respect the soldier. Every time you hold a dollar, look at it. Realize that this dollar is a soldier. It can either go out and fight for you, bringing back more dollars in the form of dividends and growth, or you can send it off to a billionaire's pocket where you'll never see it again. Look, I know it feels small. I know it feels insignificant, but your financial life is just a collection of small moments that add up to a big reality. You can't control the stock market. You can't control what the Fed does with interest rates. You can't control the global economy, but you can control the $1 in your hand right now. That dollar is the difference between being busy for the rest of your life and being rich for the rest of your life. It's not about being a miser. It's about being a master. Stop letting the world nickel and dime you into poverty. Take the power back. If you're ready to start respecting the $1 power, comment "soldier" down below so I know you're serious about this. And if you want to see how to take these savings and actually automate them so you can be rich while you sleep, watch this video next. I'll see you over there.